Joe, can you hear me?
Hey, Kim.
Yes.
Okay, we're good. Andy should be here shortly.
Oh, okay.
You really, Kim, you should be the one to open the meeting since you're here in person, according to
Okay.
policy.
All right.
And then
Chair-
just that's fine. And then Kim, if you want to run it, that's fine. And just make sure you allow me to participate remotely if that's okay.
Well, we'll see. Okay. All right. So I'd like to call the Village Council special meeting to order Wednesday, April 26th at 9:35 a.m. First up on the agenda, determine a quorum. We have a quorum. We are currently missing Andy Wortman, who is on his way. Next up is consider allowing council members to participate remotely. We have Mayor Polino, remote. So if I can get a motion to allow him to participate remotely.
So moved.
Further discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? That's pretty good. All right. Next up is adoption of the agenda. We cannot add anything, so I'm assuming we're not removing anything. So I need a motion to adopt the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Real quick, may I ask a question? If are you adjourning? Or are you guys? This is a question for you, Austin, because you guys are going to go on do a field site. Do you still stay in the meeting, or do you adjourn at this meeting?
This meeting will adjourn. We've issued a potential quorum notice for the field trip because y'all aren't conducting business. You're just going to look at playgrounds. So
But if they discuss the playgrounds, are they not discussing business, or just out of curiosity from a?
no, you guys aren't making decisions. Everything's conceptual right now.
Okay, okay, just want to be clear that that's, they don't have to stay in open session meeting for that second part of this.
Okay. So need a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Further discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? All right, and just to make a note that Councilman Wortman is here at 9:37. Okay, so first up, the only thing on the agenda is discuss and consider adoption of resolution as relates to Union County water and sewer.
Well,
Who wants to start?
I'll kick it off. This resolution is due in part to the actions of the county commissioners. I did read through a lot of what one of the other county commissioners put on social media. This is not something that is just impacting Marvin. This is impacting other municipalities. I've gone to meetings with other municipalities who, when I tell you some of the things that this county commissioning, Board of County Commissioners have done, simply they can't even put in a fountain. They can't bring water to a fountain. We have a municipality who can't bring, they have a public restroom they can't bring sewer or water to. And when County Commissioner Stoney Rushing was here, when we asked him about two things that I would, that's important to me, is one, when we asked him for why they did this, it was said because we said so. Now, as an elected official, I don't think that's an appropriate answer, because now you're bringing politics into a utility. So if he can bring politics into a utility, let's just say it's water, he can do it. If it was any kind of utility, he can do it to that too. So he's picking winners and losers in this situation. And so it's not just impacting Marvin. This is not a resolution that we're the only one putting this up. It's impacting all the municipalities throughout Union County. I just think it is, there are a lot of actions that the county commissioners have taken that, again, have turned a utility, they've weaponized the utility, and they're taking the liberties of picking the winners and losers. And so I'm very much in support. And this is not, I've been to meetings with other municipalities, and I mean, their concerns are just as vocal and just as loud as ours. And so I really hate that we're even having to do this. As Stoney was here and basically said, when I asked him the question, what's the alternative? Hear that sound? That's the sound he gave me. So they're all, it's incumbent upon us when we do something, when we take something away or when we impact something, it's squeezing the balloons. Something happens on one side and it happens on the other, and there's no answer. So I'm in support of the resolution. I'm certainly open to listening to any other suggestions that are out there, and I have spent a significant amount of time with other municipalities and other officials that are as, I guess, impacted by this as others, and I'll open it to the rest of the council.
If I might interject here, Jamie, thank you for those comments. And I remember, Jamie, you asking Stoney clearly at that meeting that, we got to work together regardless. We got to work together. And throwing stuff out that is not necessarily out on the internet or, social media that is not necessarily true. I think you all got copies of what he's out there saying and stuff and misleading the community. That's not working with us. I mean, it should be in meetings like this. I want to point out a couple things that in meeting with WUMA, Andy, you attend that meeting. I hope you'll be there tomorrow. I will. I'm going to try to Zoom in if they have that capability, but for anyone in the audience, we're getting bigger and bigger crowds there, and it's a makeup of all the municipalities, which Waxhaw has just joined, as well as I think Indian. Who else was just joined?
Indian Trail.
Indian Trail. So, which, we want a voice. Now, that group doesn't have any power to do resolutions because you have a representative from each municipality, but they all have their concerns, including Mineral Springs, the mayor, who, they want little to no growth. He's on record for it, which I get it. He's like 1-2%, they're happy, but they can't even get permits for what they want to do, let alone, some of the other things. So we're all being challenged, and all these municipalities are working separately because we have our own plan and we have our own density and we have our own, and we get voted into office because of, what our visions are, and every town is going to be a little bit different, but we have to have the capability to, have work with a county that's going to allow us to do what we want to do. And one of the things, and I can even understand, okay, so you didn't have the majority, maybe say a year ago, whenever it was, 6 months ago, they purchased this property. This is what really burns me as an elected official, because I look at this as, being responsible for, the dollars that are spent, having some sort of responsibility for doing that. And my point to that is, and I know this for a fact, that they were negotiating, they immediately took the $4.8 million, which was interesting that Stoney said, why is Marvin even concerned about that? Oh, by the way, yeah, we all pay Union County taxes. So yeah, I am concerned about anything that happens in Union County. They buy a piece of land for 80 some acres, pay 4.8 million, whatever it is. And then when the new board gets in, and there are individuals who are brand new that don't really even understand what's going on, and they voted in favor and fell in lockstep with Stoney on this. But think about what happened. They immediately take that land and give it back to them in a lease to the person that they bought it from, the individual or the group that they bought it from, and they immediately go back and put it into a 9-year, 11-month lease. Why 9 years, 11 months? Because if it was 10 years, it would have to go out to bid. Okay, they didn't want that. So that being said, they also negotiate a $3,000. We just paid 4.8 million, whatever it was, and we're going to get in return for the next 9 years, 11 months, 3,000 some odd dollars a year in return for that. Now think about that. If you were an individual and you were buying that property, here's the other kicker that I learned from David Williams, who is on the county commission. He pleaded with this group of three that approved this. He pleaded with them to have an out clause. Now you go 10 years, they even said it takes sometimes 10 years to build this thing. You're telling me you have this locked up and you chose not to have an out clause in this lease agreement? That is taking their money and holding towns hostage, holding us hostage. I mean, I get that things are done. Things are done in the past, even in Marvin, that I don't necessarily agree with. But you don't go making decisions that tie everybody's hands in this and don't have an out clause. And David Williams, my understanding, isn't an attorney. He pleaded with them and it fell on deaf ears. So this is really affecting a lot of communities. I encourage you all to go to the WUMA meeting at Wesley Chapel, 4 o'clock Thursday, because it will be discussed there. And I'm going to try to get in Zoom there. I know this is a concern for all. And in fairness, Waxhaw's doing what they want to do. They are higher density than we are. We have to respect our towns individually. But last night, they approved this unanimously. Not saying good or bad, but good for them. But for me, the reason why we are putting this resolution together is, my understanding is Todd Johnson wanted some backup. He wanted to hear from the municipalities before, so he could maybe take some action. What action is, I think we allude to that down at the very bottom of the resolution, but maybe that's not it. But it at least gives them some stepping tools to go forward with how do they manage it and get it out of that, because you're basically holding any municipality that does planning like we do hostage to doing any development whatsoever, which I think is ridiculous. And that's all I have to say right now. So
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Wayne, Bob, you guys have anything you want to add? No. Okay. For me, I guess the first thing is, this is being proposed. We haven't voted on this. This is not a passed resolution. We scheduled a special meeting, as Mayor Polino said, because we were asked to consider this, and they needed it by a date. If we were to pass it, they needed it by a date that is before our next meeting. So this is the reason that we're here, is to discuss this. I will say that I am disappointed, to say the least, that whereas this has not even been approved yet, Commissioner Rushing went online to social media and kind of bashed what we're trying to do. We at least had enough respect for him and the Board of Commissioners to invite them here to have a conversation. Unfortunately, on social media, you can't respond. And he also only allowed certain people to respond. So that is disappointing, to say the least. As Councilmember Lyon said at the end of our meeting with him a couple weeks ago, that we need to be working together. To me, that's just not working together. So I'm in favor of this. There's a lot of things that I think need to change. I think this is the first step. And again, we're not the only municipality who is affected and who is concerned about this. So with that being said, would anyone like to make a motion to approve this or not?
is there any other comments from council?
No, I asked Bob and Wayne, they said no.
Okay. Andy?
I
Oh, he
agree.
cut you off, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. I agree with the sentiments of the mayor, and I was very disappointed in Mr. Rushing's comments at that meeting. As you all know, I got a little bit upset, but you all would not expect me to sit here and say because I said so, because I'm a council member. And having a county commissioner look at us and say, because I said so, was very disrespectful and not very transparent as to what they are up to. And so, as a council member in a municipality, along with the other council members in all the other municipalities, we are trying to hold the county commissioners to a standard. And as the community's voice, that's what we are trying to do. We are not trying to be disrespectful to the county. But as a whole, all of the municipalities that are part of WUMA and any other that are not in the eastern side of the county, we all have interests in this county, and we all have to hold these commissioners to a standard. They need to know that the public needs certain infrastructure, and it's, whether you like growth or not, we still have to have infrastructure. We still have to maintain this county as a whole. And so by us partnering with the other municipalities to show our voice, this is what this resolution is about. And I'm in support of the resolution. I think that we should stand together. This is why I'm the alternate member of WUMA, and we should all stand together. That's just my opinion.
Okay, anybody else? All right, someone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution related to the Union County Water and Sewer.
All right. Further discussion? All's in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, motion passes. I need a motion to adjourn the special meeting on Wednesday, April 26th at 9:52 a.m.
So moved.
Further discussion? All's in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. And Austin, if you can make sure a copy of that gets to Todd Johnson. He was wanting that before the session closes so he can get it in. So
Sounds good.
thank you all.